Good thing friendly fire is not on. Would have just destroyed Jason.
What?
Just got shot in the ass a lot. Welcome back to Eat, Sleep, Nerd. We have a very special episode coming your way today. We are doing a LAN party for the brand new video game Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2.
Warhammer 40k.
Jason Summers here to play along with us. We got Josh Winter. I'm your dorky DJ, Corey Winter. This is a co-op game, which is a lost art in video games nowadays. So we're very excited to play this. Going to be doing some tutorial. So Jason and I have actually not played this game yet.
Right.
So this is going to be like live reactions for us. Very first impressions. Josh has played a little bit already.
Couldn't help it.
Couldn't
help it.
So he's going to give us, obviously, as the Warhammer expert, a little background as we play this game. And then once we actually get through the tutorial, we'll start co-oping the campaign. And then at the end of this video, once we've actually played this game for a few days, we're going to do a proper discussion review of our entire experience.
Yes.
So if you're looking forward to that review, there's probably a chapter marker in this video, so check those comments down there to find that time code. But if you want to see us actually play this game, stay tuned right here, right now. So, Josh, we are following your gameplay. You've actually already done this tutorial, but you're running off a PC. Jason and I are actually playing on PlayStation 5. So for
PC Master Race.
So, Josh is actually going to be playing this tutorial along with us, even though he's done it already.
Well, you can't do the co-op until you've gotten through the tutorial. Okay. So I would just be sitting here anyway.
It's not called a tutorial for anybody who gets confused.
Yeah.
It's called something else.
It's just the intro chapter to the...
So Josh, you were telling us a little bit about this ahead of time. There's not too much you really have to know going into it, but what do you have to know going into this game?
The only thing, and again, I haven't played all the way through the game, so I don't know how many callbacks there are. But for the basic setup of the game, this is 100 years after Space Marine 1. You play as the same character, Captain Titus. Again, the coolest thing about 40k, it takes place technically after the peak of human technology. Everything's on the decline. So these super soldiers live for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years if they don't die in combat. So the fact that your main character has been away for 100 years is really not that big a deal.
Okay.
But anyway, at the end of Space Marine 1, for like the last, I guess you'd call it like the third act, once all the spit has hit the fan, chaos becomes involved.
Okay.
And chaos is essentially dark magic, hell, all that fun stuff. And humanity has zero tolerance for chaos. And normally when something like that happens, everything is destroyed and exploded. It's kind of a kill it with fire sort of thing. So even though he technically saved the planet, your character at the end of Space Marine 1 is considered by a lot of folks involved a heretic just because he was so closely involved with chaos. So the game picks up here with him kind of serving his penance.
Now, giving some background on the actual just game in real life, this is a game 10 years in the making. Like, it's been... When was the first game come
2011.
out? Yeah, so it's been over a decade since the first game came out. And some cool things I'm saying about other reviews that have actually played this game, where I think IGN made an article today as we're playing this, where they're saying this is kind of like an Xbox 360 shooter in like the best way possible.
Yeah, I read the same article.
Yeah.
And it's 100% true. It's still got that kind of Gears of War DNA to it. It's dumb, but in the best way possible. And it's just gorgeous.
So you're probably gonna have to censor a lot of what I say because I curse a lot when I play. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's gonna be a lot of bleep.
Yeah.
Bleep. Yeah, so as we're playing this, so this is a co-op game, so you can do the campaign, the story campaign co-op. You can do just a multiplayer mode that's co-op. Is there competitive multiplayer?
There is. So there's the campaign, then there's a mode that they call PvE, player versus environment. That's co-op with two of your buddies against just hordes and hordes and hordes of enemies while trying to accomplish certain objectives. Helldivers, but in 40k.
Sure.
And then you've got PvP, which is your customized Space Marine versus your friend's customized Chaos Space Marine.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of that is actually locked out until you've played the campaign, which I kind of like.
Yeah. I mean, it was called a 360 shooter by like IGN and stuff, but it doesn't look like a 360 shooter. Like, this is gorgeous.
I was gonna say, this is a very next gen game.
Yeah.
It is Unreal.
I'll say this is really Unreal.
Stop.
And again, so we're playing this game. It is co-op, but it's not local co-op. So you do have to play co-op on 3 different machines, which is sad.
Yeah,
But-
Harrison and Philip wanted to play really bad.
Yeah.
Recently lost health can be restored by dealing damage. Oh, the more you hit people, the
Yes.
Like-
The way forward in every single fashion is
just
to kill.
kill. Okay.
If you're encountering enemies, you're going the right way.
I have encountered some enemies.
So, just initial impressions, just a couple minutes into this game. Controls are straightforward. Like, it is a typical first-person shooter layout. Obviously, it's third-person, but the attack button's one of the shoulder buttons.
Only for melee.
Only for melee.
Yeah.
Like the sprint button's the left thumbstick, so that's awesome.
And there's the execution. There it is.
Here we go. Bad guys.
So, do you think there's enough blood?
Honestly, I think it's just
Nice.
right. Because like it is a lot, but it never feels absurd. I feel like that is the amount of blood I would get if I sawed a guy in half with a chainsaw.
Oh my god, there's parrying. Good lord.
Right.
Okay, but it is so satisfying in this game.
So L1 you parry. Okay.
Correct. And usually, if it's a little guy that you're parrying, you grab him and you just rip him.
Yeah,
Like,
it's-
yeah, like it is.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
called
that's,
the
that's not
perfect
bad.
parry.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Like it's good. I like it.
And like it shows you an indicator when to parry.
Correct.
Which a lot of games don't.
And more importantly, it does what every game that has you playing as a badass should do. And that is when you do something correctly, it makes you feel like a badass.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do the parry correctly, you grab a guy and you rip him in half.
Oh,
or
hello. That
Yeah,
was
like-
violent. Okay. Oh wait, I didn't do 3 parries.
you don't have to. Like you can progress without doing it.
Oh, can you? Because I
Yeah.
also did not.
But yeah, as you guys get your first bolter gun, it feels the way it should.
Okay.
It's heavy. It's not a delicate instrument.
Okay, now I don't know where I'm going. Okay, now
Find that waypoint.
Okay. Oh, hello. They're shooting things. Oh my goodness. It's a dueling. Dueling?
Well, yeah, they'll try to-
Dodge. If you can dip, dive, duck, and dodge. What's dodge, dip, dive? So 4Ds.
So we're talking a lot about the co-op, but obviously you can play this by yourself.
Oh yeah, it's super satisfying.
But the cool thing about this, and the reason we are playing it as co-op, is because just like the old school OG Halo games, you can do the campaign either single player or as co-op, and it doesn't really change the experience. You're just playing with more people. And just campaign co-op is also just something that doesn't really happen.
No one does that anymore.
Oh, they do finishers. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, the executions
Mortal
on here.
Kombat.
Yeah, the executions on here are so satisfying.
Oh my.
So these suits are pretty heavy in the game, and it makes it feel like it's pretty heavy when you're running.
Yeah, wait until we haven't gotten there yet. Wait until you come across your first Cadians, your first Imperial Guard, just regular dudes. Because so far you haven't really been able to get the sense of scale. You're about twice as big as the average guy.
So obviously it's a shooter. You mentioned before we started recording that there are some RPG elements. So as I'm going through this, do I need to worry about like veering off the path to find hidden things?
Nope.
Sweet.
It's not that kind of game.
I love that. That always stresses me out because I want to be the collector and the
No, this is
100%er, but it's so stressful.
No, this is a good old-fashioned shoot all these things, run to the next set piece, shoot more of the things,
Love
and
that.
the experience comes from the ridiculous set pieces that they've put together for you.
Awesome. That's my kind of game.
Yeah, it's You unlock things by killing, which is exactly how a Warhammer game should be.
Oh, yes, so you have to be ready to switch between both melee and...
So, I actually like the way they've done it. If you are... Basically, your two loadouts are... You can have a melee weapon and a pistol, or you can have your heavy weapon, or your assault rifle or sniper rifle or whatever, your main weapon. If you are using the main weapon and you need to hit the melee button real quick, he just auto switches for you.
Got it.
Like, you do not have to, and then when you pull the trigger, it goes back to your main. But like, they made it as seamless as they could. Because again, this is not that game where you need to think about tactically reloading.
That's good.
That's not what this game is. And again, I mean that in the best way possible.
Okay. Props right here. So obviously what I'm talking about is not what Josh is doing.
Yeah.
I'm actually right where you are.
I just came to... It's happened a couple times, but I just came to a little like blockade thing you had to push out of the way. It was a single button press and it just did the rest for you. I hate when games
Make you
earn
like,
it.
like tap until it opens. Like, I just love his single tap action. It's great.
Well, it's because for a Space Marine, it shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be a challenge. Like, a lot of the fun in this game kind of comes from what I think the Helldivers developers were going for, which is the feeling of you are completely overwhelmed. How could you possibly kill this many guys?
And Helldivers was like that before they nerfed it.
Yeah. No comment, but yeah. So for anyone who needs to know or cares, the game kicks off with the Tyranid invasion of a planet, an Imperial planet. And the Tyranid is an alien race, or as they say in universe, a Xenos race. And they're horrifying because they're a hive mind of just trillions and trillions and trillions of just monstrous aliens. They don't want anything other than to kill you and use your biomass to make more Tyranids.
Gotcha.
And so at the beginning of the game, we know that there is something that is very important to the Imperium on this planet. So protecting it is the highest priority. We don't know what it is yet. So they sent in the Death Watch, which is a specialist grouping of Space Marines.
Are these the Suicide Squad type things?
Correct. Yeah. Like if you're in the Death Watch, you're only getting the toughest missions. Your survival rate is incredibly low. And so again, it's a big deal that they sent them in.
Yeah, I have not struggled with the controls at all so far.
No, it feels like one of the first games in a long time that it's like, I don't feel like it's trying to be more than it is. And the biggest thing it wants you to do is just have fun.
Yeah, it's not reinventing the wheel.
I'm dying. Ah!
It's not reinventing
I'm gonna die.
Well,
okay,
I gotta kill people. I gotta kill more things.
Okay, so y'all pause for a second because this one is going to be kind of important.
yes,
Okay,
that's
so-
not yours.
Anyway,
How'd you die?
Too many people.
it's okay. That's kind of like pausing too. Okay, so one of the biggest things, and we think one of the reasons they delayed the game for so long, is their swarm system. So this is not like something that's rendered in the distance. Those are all actual enemies that I'm about to have to kill.
Oh my!
Swarming it.
Oh my gosh.
My God!
And again, one of the benefits of it running on a version of Unreal is every single one of those is fully rendered. It's a full 3D character that they've set up. And you can see them starting to swarm up to try to get in.
Oh.
And everything is simulation based.
Okay, cool.
How do you mean?
But like,
What do you mean by simulation based?
so like that's not a set animation of them trying to climb up the wall. Like that is really them figuring out how they can pile up on the wall.
Oh.
And why it's extra satisfying if you throw a grenade into the middle of it.
Do I have grenades yet?
You don't.
Okay. You don't. You're a loser.
Well, no, you're just like 5 minutes behind me.
Gotcha. So, like you were saying, this is like a game kind of based off like a religion and but also like penitence and all this other stuff. So you have all this machinery and all this technology, but also all over the place you have these candles that have been lit and just dripping wax all over the place. It looks very.
It is so cool.
Yeah, it looks very.
It's
really
very gothic.
in nature. Yeah.
Gothic. Yeah. So like I said, the coolest thing about this setting is that, like I said, it's 40,000 years into the future, and this is not the peak of human technology. This is after the peak of human technology. So like most of the equipment that they're using and stuff like that, it's still made in factories and people work in those factories, but no one actually knows how to make it. If the factory goes down, it's lost forever. They don't know how to do it again. And so their religion is not in God or Buddha or anything like that. It is in this ancient technology that keeps their civilization working, and the emperor, which is seen as the steward of all of it.
Gotcha.
And so like when they're doing, there's several times in this game and in a lot of these things where when they're typing commands into a computer, they're typing prayer into the computer, because they don't really know how it works, but theoretically if you use the right prayer, the computer will do what you ask it to do. It's very neat and it's very unique. And yeah, it's awesome. The entire setting is what makes it worthwhile.
So one of my friends was telling me that there's a faction that are called the Orcs.
Yep.
And basically the way that they're powerful is if they believe something will work away.
Correct.
It'll work that way. Like if something has red paint on it and they believe that red means fast,
so it'll go
that
faster.
red thing will be fast.
Yeah. There's a group of fans and quote unquote experts who are trying to say that was never meant to be literal. It's like, no, that's too awesome to change your mind. Like it's like the fan base just agreed. No, we're keeping that.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So when you die, specifically at this point, the rest of the game you're not supposed to die.
Okay.
But they did something that I actually really like. So Space Marines have essentially looked the same for most of Warhammer 40K's history. And they have the big blocky Mark 3 and 4 armor like what's there.
Right.
That's what Space Marines have looked like forever. When Corey and I first got Space Marines 20 years ago, that's more or less what they look like. It's a very nice version of it for the video game, but that's what it is. About 2 years ago, during the biggest model refresh that they've done in a long time, they introduced what's called Primaris Space Marines. And essentially all it really means in real world is it's the new Space Marine models. And they were bigger, they were taller, and it was supposed to make them look more like super soldiers compared to the little guys that you could get.
Okay.
And it pissed a lot of people off. Like, mostly just because nerds don't handle change well. Like, there's no logical reason to be pissed about it. Yeah. They just were. Yeah. Other than, I guess, if you had a whole army of Space Marines and you wanted to get a box of new ones, your new one's going to look really different than the old ones that you've had forever. So
you can't, they don't match.
I get it. Yeah.
They don't match.
They put it into the game. So when your guy dies, when Titus dies right here, when he wakes up,
spoilers,
he's literally recovered. I mean, light spoilers. It's the end of the tutorial. When he wakes up, they explain to him that he was dead. They salvaged him and gave him the Primaris augmentations.
So they built the lore into the game.
Yeah, like it's like you can see the scarring on his arms and head and everything. Like literally, they
looks
made
like his
him.
Head had been removed.
Yeah, like they made him bigger and taller, and he's going to get the Primaris Space Marine armor. So like he's now 8 feet tall and stuff that like it's. Anywho, it was baked into the game. Is the point?
Cool. So as we can see on Josh's screen, it's actually kind of cool because he has actually not left the game. He's still inside of his single player campaign, and he has just asked us to join his squad, and it just gives you a 5-digit code. And theoretically, if this works, we're just going to jump right into his game without him ever leaving.
Yep, I got one of you.
So yeah, so I was seeing on like a lot of games nowadays that have online components, there's server issues when the game launches just because so many people are trying to play it. But it seems like it's working just fine and relatively seamlessly, which is pretty cool.
If this worked, that was going to be the easiest join we've had so far.
Look at that! We're in the same game. No errors whatsoever, which is kind of cool considering all three of us are on the same Wi-Fi.
Right. Also, I'm sure Corey already said this, but Corey and I are on PS5s and Josh is on a computer.
Yeah, so we are
cross-play.
Yeah, we're doing cross-play. Seems to be working just fine.
So then let's
go. Josh, you are the de facto leader, so we will follow you. I like how it's automatically given us unique uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Jason has a red helmet. I have different markings on my uniform, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're not playing the same identical murder bot.
Yeah, it's not like the original Halo games where you just played a duplicate of Master Chief. Like you're actually different.
No, you've assumed the identity of the other two people in his squad.
Very cool.
Yeah, I like that. So how many people can join? What's the max?
We are at the max. 3.
We're at the max.
An interesting number, isn't it?
Okay,
It's not 4.
They said that when they were doing playtest, I don't know if this is true. This is just what they've said. The developers said that when they were doing playtesting, 4 Space Marines was too powerful.
Interesting.
And so they decided to just leave it at 3.
So did they mean too powerful from like it just made gameplay too easy, or too powerful as in the game couldn't handle it?
No, the vibe I got was that they meant literally like it was too easy.
Because I know that was one of the reasons that Halo Infinite did not launch with co-op campaign, just because it was an open world game. They said it took too many resources to have co-op in the campaign.
Yeah, but then didn't a guy mod it so that it did that?
Yeah.
Until like 2 days later, he modded it.
Yeah.
The vehicle is called the Thunderhawk.
Yeah.
Which is like a cross between Thundercats and Silverhawks, which was the same animation company.
Sure.
It was. I just realized that was probably before you guys, as I said it. Is there friendly fire in this?
No, there's not.
No.
Okay, good.
So go ahead.
Jason's Achilles heel and Helldivers.
Sorry. We got in our way.
Oh my.
Well, they did make us giant, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. And again, every single one of those is a real enemy. Like, none of that is canned.
Well.
Yep. So we got to get to it.
They've been here a while. Some trench warfare. Where are they? I don't see any bad guys.
I see all of the bad guys.
Oh, hello. Found them.
Do you see them now?
Kind of in my face.
That's a lot of bad guys.
That's a lot of bad guys. Airstrike. Attention.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Oh, you can give commands.
Cool.
That's cool. Nasty.
What am I supposed to be doing here?
Killing things.
Killing. Again, don't overthink it, Jason.
What is it?
Kill it.
Well, what is the L?
Kill it.
What was the L supposed to do?
What?
What?
It said L on mine.
Oh, no.
Like when I was getting.
I don't know what you mean. I haven't seen it enough.
I'm about to die. Who's got a stim? Anybody?
Nope.
Are you actually about to die? Because I guess I could help.
Yeah, you're a big bad space marine, but one little dude shooting at you from afar for long enough will kill you.
It's all right. We got you.
Okay.
Teamwork.
What do you do? Pray over me? No. Seriously.
Who's shooting me in the butt? Yeah. That was just gross for no reason.
The enemy numbers are not insignificant. The Cadian 8th will have to...
Oh, this is different. I've never done this. I've never done this. I've never done this. I've never
You didn't
done
get this far yet?
No, just this little quick time event.
Oh.
I've never... I wasn't really ready for that.
Okay, that's one demerit for the game so far for me is that even if you're playing co-op, you're sharing resources. So you're going to not have enough ammo.
Here it comes. Yes.
Yay, chain sword, finally.
Oh, it's so satisfying when you throw a grenade in there and like a whole wave of them blows up.
I'm going to slice them as they come up the wall on this side.
Not doing so hot again. How do you guys never seem to lose your health?
Killing.
Kill him. Kill him. I don't let him touch me. No, I get hit a lot.
Come on in. Oh, God.
Good thing friendly fire is not on.
Yeah.
Would have just destroyed Jason.
What? What? What did you say about me?
Nothing.
Uh-huh.
Just got shot in the ass a lot. All right, so we have been playing Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 for a few days now. We've all progressed through the campaign and on our own. So we have had a good amount of time to get our impressions of the game now. So we're going to review it, give our score of it, the Eat Sleep Nerd 1 to 5 score. So before we give our scores, let's just talk about our experience. So obviously we played the campaign co-op. We played the campaign solo.
Yes.
How are you feeling about it? You have not played solo.
That is correct.
You're in the middle of moving. It's fine.
Right.
But let's just start with you then.
Oh, goody.
With the limited amount of time you had with the game.
Yes. It was very limited.
Playing
right here.
Yeah.
Yes. In the confines of the studio. It was really fun. I've never played a Warhammer game. Josh was hilarious the week leading up to it. I got excited about the game because he was so excited about the game. He apologized many times for being so excited, but I can't be mad at anybody for being that excited about anything.
That's what this channel's all about, is being excited about stuff.
So, and it was totally worth it. It's a lot going in. There is they just kind of dump you right into the world, and the learning curve is that you learn how not to die. So
well,
it's pretty much it. It's a pretty the bad guys are pretty aggressive and they're numerous.
And let's be clear, we were on easy the whole time.
We were on easy.
Yeah, baby mode.
Yeah.
Call it.
And it was difficult.
Yeah.
I died
it's
a lot.
Yeah. It is designed to be overwhelming.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah, like the whole like swarm thing, like there's supposed to be always a ton of enemies.
And Miz.
I read that the second from the highest level is supposed to be the level that you're supposed to play it at.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just saying like that's
to get the real experience.
It was the intended experience is the second from highest level, which I guess is veteran.
Yeah,
sure.
Okay. Yeah. So And we were in baby mode.
I play most of my games on easy nowadays.
I was gonna say I call it dad mode. I do not have time as a grown person with outside responsibilities to knuckle down and give 30 hours a week to a game. I can't do it.
Yeah, the only time I ever play on anything other than easy is for games I'm trying to get the platinum on, which forces you to play all the difficulties.
Yeah.
So this is not one of those games. But maybe.
I mean,
we'll see.
my guess is you'll probably have to play hard mode to get your platinum.
If I get the platinum.
If you want to do the platinum, right? Yeah.
We also have not gotten to do all of the modes yet.
Correct. I mean, that's a big pro for this game is that it's a very big game.
And it looks like it is only designed to get bigger.
Yeah.
Like like if you look at the roadmap for the next few seasons, like they're going to keep adding things to it.
Yeah.
And it's an entire universe, so
they have a lot.
There's plenty of room to do that with.
Yeah. So Josh, Warhammer fan, obviously hyping this one for I guess 2 years now. Because it did get pushed back after last year.
Yeah, we thought we were going to have this a year ago.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I'm so glad we didn't.
Yeah.
Because what we got this last week was not what they were originally showing off.
Okay.
What was the difference? What were the differences?
I mean, first off, they didn't show off that much leading up to the delay, which is why a lot of people were thinking, there
was going to be crap.
Yeah, like the delay was not a huge shocker because for something that they were really building up to be the launching point for a lot of people into this franchise, they just weren't showing off that much. They had like 2 trailers, I think.
And they were like pushing it, like they were coming up on the release date before they actually delayed it.
Yeah.
Like it was like maybe a month out.
And then they were just like, next year.
Yeah.
Like give us a year.
Yeah.
Like it was a ballsy delay.
Yeah.
But I get it now. Like the game is gorgeous. The scale is insane. Yeah, it reminded me of like playing the original God of War because that was one of the first times that a video game was just like, whoa, as far as like how big things could be.
Yeah.
This game gave me that same feeling, which is great because that's 40K in a nutshell. Is just big guns, big explosions, big armies, big everything.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Okay. Well, okay. It's a great game. And it's exactly what you would expect it to be. It is just a shooter and you go from point A to point B just shooting all the things.
Yep.
So in that aspect, for the game that they wanted it to be, and the game that everyone that loves Warhammer wants that game to be, it's a 5 out of 5.
Nailed it.
For me, it's just a little too repetitive in terms of gameplay. It's just a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
But so that kind of not the best experience for me just because it's not my type of game. But I did have fun. So it's a 3 would be too low, 5 would be too high. So I'm probably going to end up coming in there out of 4. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, so looking at Steam right now.
Oh, those scores. Gotcha.
This game, out of 51,000 reviews, has a 9 out of 10 right now.
Pretty solid.
Pretty solid. I think people are liking this. And that goes to show you, if you actually just, put a game out when it's ready to be put out, it might be a good game. Instead of just...
Holy crap, if you wait till your game is done.
Yeah.
And then you put it out, people like it.
You mean rushing things just to hit a deadline isn't necessarily a good thing?
No.
Huh.
Because this has been a while. Like, I know the first game came out, 12 years ago.
The announcement was like 6 years ago.
I was going to say, it looks like
5 or 6 years ago.
It was announced in 2021 at the Game Awards. So it's only been 3 years. But I'm sure it's been in the works longer than that. So yes, we ended up playing the single player mode by ourselves. Honestly, it was a whole different experience from playing co-op campaign.
Well, yeah.
It's the exact same campaign, exact same stuff, exact same gameplay, but you're just playing with one person instead of 3. But when I sat down and just play it on my own, it was like a whole new world.
Yeah. It's a lot more cinematic when you get to play it by yourself.
It really is.
How do you mean a whole new world? What do you explain?
Well, because like when we're playing together as just co-op, we're just shooting everything, not really listening to the story.
Right.
But when you're playing by yourself, it's like you're getting more sucked into the story and the cinematics.
So you're paying more attention to like what they're saying on the comms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You immerse easier.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I will say this game, not perfect.
Yeah. That's what I was about to talk about.
Yeah. We did have some issues. We actually recorded the errors. We're not going to put it in the episode just because it was a hell show. But When we were playing,
That's not
co-op,
what you wanted to say.
when we were playing co-op. We came. It was like the first level. It was like a checkpoint in like the parts of
first mission.
level.
Yeah,
And we had just finished like getting past the first swarm,
Mm-hmm.
and the loading screen brought up like we're inside this room where the door is supposed to open. Door just didn't open.
Yeah.
And we thought, okay, we just need to reload the game. Maybe something just didn't load properly. That didn't fix anything. So we backed out of each other's lobbies. So we were all just playing single player, thinking it was just like a server issue. That didn't fix anything.
Yeah.
Completely shut down the game.
Yeah, it's literally a corrupted save. If you get that glitch, it corrupts your save file. Yep. Luckily, it's early enough in the game that most people aren't going to pitch a fit if you have to restart.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that sucks. Like you're at least an hour into it
Yeah.
that you kind of have to redo.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and this was an error that is on the message boards. Like this is a known glitch.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the time people actually watch this video, maybe that's been resolved. We don't know yet.
son of a glitch.
And the only way that we fixed it was restarting that level, playing solo.
And getting
it seems like it's
Yeah.
unique to the co-op.
Correct. For some, there's a script that does not trigger if you're playing in co-op.
Yeah.
We don't know
So
why.
anybody playing co-op.
It seems like it, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
It's pretty wide,
Okay.
pretty widely accepted glitch right now.
So
And like I said, and it corrupts the save file.
Yeah.
So like when I tried to play it by myself, still wouldn't open
so you had to
because
go
it's
back and
part
play
of
the
the
whole thing by
checkpoint
itself.
save. Yeah. So
Okay.
I had to restart when you guys restarted.
So the recommendation is everybody play the first portion by themselves
Yeah, pretty much.
until they fix it.
Yeah.
So okay.
Which it seems to be a very responsive development team. They seem to be very active. So we'll see how fast bugs get
Yeah.
fixed.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So graphics, awesome.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you've paid attention or watched our channel, I have like a limit with gore where I can't just like The Boys, the series called The Boys. I can't do it. Now there is a substantial amount of gore and blood in this game, but it's animated enough to where
You don't
it's
really-
not.
yeah, you
It's
don't really
not.
think
Yeah,
about it,
yeah. You don't think about it. It's not.
It's
It's
so
not designed
over the
to
top.
be. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
designed to be a realistic representation of what would happen. It's just shooting things up.
Yeah.
So I did notice like the bloods did have kind of a cartoonish, not cartoonish, an animated look to it, which kind of I think worked better for me. But yeah, really gory game, lots of blood, lots of guts. It's definitely a shoot 'em up.
So combat, I
Combat's
guess,
good.
is good.
Yeah.
Combat's
Oh,
good.
and it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Like all those bugs are designed and modeled to blow apart. Like it is very visceral and satisfying. Both the shooting and the stabbing.
And speaking of shooting, it's the aiming system isn't as nuanced or as refined as like Call of Duty
Yeah.
or Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be a precise gamer marksman to play this game.
No.
As long as your reticle is in the right spot,
Yeah.
you're gonna do all right.
which I feel like is kind of how firearms work in this universe.
Yeah.
Like everything is just so big. It's just
Yeah.
as long as you're pointed in the general direction.
Yeah. So,
You're gonna
so
hit
for me,
something.
who doesn't play these games very often,
Kind of a plus.
I was like, okay, this isn't so bad.
I was going to say, we got a good mix of people here. We have a gamer that does not really play this genre at all.
Never.
We have a hardcore gamer that dabbles in this genre when there's a good game for it. And then we have maybe not a shooter gamer, but someone that is a big lover of Warhammer.
Yeah.
So we had a good mix of opinions here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So getting us into just the lore of it, how'd they do with the lore?
Oh my god, that is so good. So no, it's
This has been like weeks. Oh my god,
they
oh
did
my God.
so good.
God.
No, okay. So I mean, for something that has almost 50 years of lore
Mhm.
at this point, and it's nerdy lore. So like that is a lot of information that they had to pull from and to mess up, and they did not. There was nothing in there. It was just like, oh, really? That's what we did. Really, that's what we chose to do there. None of that. And the more of the lore,
Yep.
that you know, the more fun that game can feel. Corey and I think are probably about at the same point, like probably about a third of the
We have
way.
not actually finished this game just because
Yeah.
there's so much to do.
There's so much to do,
We have
and
good.
and like we said,
Yeah.
like we're grown people. I wish this was our job. It's not our job. Maybe one day it'll be our job.
Be
But
nice.
but like I have kids and a job and other hobbies.
Of the game.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, like I think you and I are like a third of the way through the campaign. We're just now starting to get into the chaosy bits. But you know, the internet exists, so I've seen most of the campaign at this point. And because that lore is so rich and so deep and they love it, clearly everyone who made this game is a fan, or at least respects it. And like it was getting to the point where, especially in the second half of the game, like you're getting essentially cameos from like people who are a big deal in the 40K universe.
That's cool.
Like the head of the Ultramarines, Calgar, like shows up and he comes in the most badass fashion possible. It looks like it's going to be a massive last stand, and it's big and dramatic, and the music is swelling up. And right when they're almost overrun, carpet bombs start going off everywhere. And this dropship comes in with the back gate open, and Calgar's just standing up there in big Terminator armor, just blasting out of the back. And he just lands and he's like, I got your message. I mean, and it's like, I mean, it's sick even if you don't know who that is. But if you do know who that is, you're going, ah, because like that would be like fighting in the Revolutionary War and George Washington just shows up, you know, like so. I mean, like it's
We just made that analogy. That was
yeah,
it. Okay.
and it's and that's just it's all over the place, and it is very clearly a love letter to all things 40K. And they did it in the most 40K-ish ways they could, which is just over the top and ultra violent, and it's a feast for the senses.
Okay.
And speaking of senses, they did a really good job of making your character feel very heavy and dense. These are giant people in the game.
And you feel that
they're like
way.
8-9 feet tall. And what are they called again? What's the starts with P?
Primaris?
Primaris, yes.
Yeah, which is even bigger than the regular Space Marines.
Right.
Yeah.
And so these are heavy folks that could, trample a deer if they didn't look out for the deer. They probably wouldn't in this universe. But anyway, it's but
For the Emperor, and the deer just explodes.
Yeah, Bambi's just gone.
And also, it's just it's that and what Josh is talking about with the lore. It's a very detailed game.
Yeah.
And like somehow, like you're saying, like I don't think the controller even really vibrates when like you jump down inside of that playing as one of these guys.
Mhm.
But just the way they make the ground shake a little bit, and maybe there is a little vibration in the controller. Every little minute detail they're putting into it makes it a little bit more immersive.
Yeah.
It's like it makes it feel like it's a heavy dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did
You are
notice-
not fast.
I did notice that when you step, there is a slight vibration in your
Okay.
controller. It's unless you're thinking about it, you're not going to notice it.
Yeah.
Which I think is perfect. It's kind of subconscious, which adds to the experience. So anyway, I think so that was pretty good. Using the controller to make you feel immersed in the game.
Yeah. Well, anything else to say before we do our score?
Definitely rated M. Yeah.
However, and again, this is always a parental choice
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like, it really is just violence. Like,
Just
like
violence.
this is not. Well, I mean, like, there's not even like language. You know what I mean? Like, it is.
It's a very properly written dialogue, story wise. It's all British and very, very
Yeah, I mean, it's. I guess what I'm saying is like, if your kids are old enough that you're cool with having that violence discussion, like this is not something like you're not going to be in the middle of playing this and there's nudity or something like that.
Oh,
like
sure.
this is,
I mean, well, you haven't finished the game yet, but
yeah. But anywho,
Right.
point is, yes, it is a hard M,
Yeah.
but it's a hard M that's entirely blood and violence. So for a lot of people, that's not a deal breaker.
All right, so getting into scores. Eat, Sleep, Nerd scales on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. So 1, you had a really bad time, 5 being a really good time. In the case of this, we each give our individual scores, then we average them all together to give us the overall Eat, Sleep, Nerd score. We do decimals.
Do.
you see that look? I like that. I earned that.
So kicking us off. I said I might not give it a 4, but I think I am. So it's not a perfect game. As we said, we had a pretty annoying bug, and I feel like they could do a little bit more variety in the gameplay. So it's not just all shooting. But that's just personal preference, which kind of brings it down from being a perfect game. but it's a whole lot better than a 3. So I'm right there at the 4. It's a really great time, especially if you love Warhammer, or if you love shoot 'em up games. I'm saying that this game is getting a lot of like mainstream popularity and exposure because people even outside of Warhammer are actually starting to play this game just because it is a good shooter.
Jason and I were in the Warhammer store today, and the fellow that works there says that their business has been up since the game came out.
Yeah.
There are people who have never once actually played Warhammer that wanted to see what that was about. So that's cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. So let's go. Let's slay the lower guy for last. So, Jason, your score.
Okay, so I've got a couple things going against this game. One is it's not my genre. I like to go and search for everything, which was driving these guys crazy, by the way, when we were playing. I was trying to find power-ups or guns or whatever.
Linear,
Yeah.
There's nothing over there.
Yes, yeah. So that was frustrating to these guys. So that I kind of missed that aspect. I think that having that kind of glitch in the first level, that widespread, is kind of unforgivable.
When it's a game-breaking bug like that, that should have been caught.
So I can't forgive that, honestly. Maybe further in the game, it would suck more, but further in the game, I kind of get it. But this was like early on, like if anybody who does the testing should have played this.
Yeah, like to your point, like I can forgive bugs where like you have to just restart your game and it's fine.
Yeah.
This one you couldn't restart. You had to completely start over.
Yeah. So I can't forgive that. So that's actually kind of a big ding. And I don't see that's been addressed yet. We could revisit this later.
Yeah, I will go ahead and label this a review in progress. This is not final scores, I don't think.
But so I'm gonna give this a 3.25.
Okay.
No, I think it's actually exactly like you said earlier. As a video game, it's like a 4.
Yeah.
If you're a Warhammer fan, it's a 5 out of 5. So I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Solid. Okay.
Yeah. If you're a Warhammer guy, or if you've wanted to see what this Warhammer thing is about, this is an excellent jumping on point.
Mm-hmm.
And they do dump you into it, but like that's kind of the only way to do it.
Star Wars,
like,
dumped you into it.
like
it worked great. So.
Yeah, like that's no, there's no great jumping on point because it's all deep, it's all ridiculous. You just got to start, and then you'll figure the rest out. Yeah. It's like Star Trek. There's no great place to start Star Trek. There are places that are better than others.
Yeah,
it's all great. Actually.
But you're going to end up doing all of it at some point anyway. So just pick a spot.
Yeah.
Like just go. And as far as the games go for Warhammer, this is the one. Do it.
Yeah. As far as Warhammer stuff goes, peak.
This is the best Warhammer.
Yeah.
I hope these guys get to keep making them. Yeah. Like they did a great job.
Just tangent. Sorry, Corey. Just real quick. Actually, with Star Trek, don't start with the original series.
Okay.
Actually, no, that's fair.
Yeah. Don't.
It's better. The original series is better if you already love it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Okay.
Good tip.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So with all those scores added to or averaged together, me with a 4, Jason with a 3.25, and Josh with a 4.5. That brings us to a 3.92 out of 5. So essentially a 4. So
I feel like that's fair. Yeah. I feel like that's an honest review.
We do pretty well with that, with our scores. At what thing?
Oh, man.
Yeah, you forgot your.
Oh man.
Yeah.
4.5 watts.
Yeah. 4.5 watts.
4.5 chaos insurgencies out of 5.
Okay. All right. There you go. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Play it on the biggest screen you can.
I think that's a big part of why my experience was so much different because I got to play on my 65.
Yeah. Like when we were doing our bits for the capture. Like, I'm sorry, sitting all the way over here and looking at a 43-inch TV all the way over there. If your TV's 43 inches, you need to be like a foot away from it. It's like those movies that you need to go see on the biggest screen you can. This is a game you need to play on the biggest screen you can.
I'd agree with that.
Also, you were saying you need to play it as loud as you can.
Oh, yes!
So either have a good speaker system or a good headset.
Good headphones, something. But just when you have good audio going and you're blasting that bolter, it goes from patoo, patoo, patoo to thud. like
how was that again?
Yeah, like just the well,
can you make that?
Yes.
That was pretty good. I want to get that.
No, I mean it's just like the first time the game lets you go from the regular bolt pistol to the heavy bolter. It's like you get caught up in a fray and you're swinging around the chainsword and you're going and you're going and you're going. Then there's that one guy over there and you whip out the pistol. It's like whap whap whap. It's just like okay,
nice.
Yeah. But I mean, it's supposed to be shooting like bullets that are the size of like Red Bulls. So,
yes,
yeah.
What are your final thoughts?
Fun game. I'll keep playing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the-
Like Corey said, this is an in progress thing.
Yeah.
We'll play it a few more times together. We still have to try out co-op.
Yeah.
Well, like PvE co-op.
Yeah.
Which is where you get to make your own space. Very excited.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
If we ever do decide to give a final score, we'll make sure to update this video with a comment or something.
Yeah.
Their final score. So
Yeah.
all of that said, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you go to youtube.com/@eatsleepnerd, click subscribe, click like, leave some comments, go watch the rest of our videos. If you like to listen to podcasts, we're on podcast feeds as well, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. You can find us, Eat Sleep Nerd. Give us a 5-star rating while you're there. Go find us on socials. Most of our channels, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff is @EatSleepNerd. Go subscribe to us on there and say hi. So all of that said, thank you for tuning in. Eat Sleep Nerd.